Thank Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Sure can. A little more. Okay. Sweet. You're gonna break the camera. How many? Okay. All right, sounds good. I'm ready. Me? What about me? You want me to start talking? I didn't hear anybody in my head, in my ears, so yeah, go. All right, well, we can start going here, I guess. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Welcome to Salt Lake City. This is the NVA Utah Salt Lake City Showcase. This is quarterfinal match number 2. This is our 4th match of the day here on our Saturday action. Like I said, quarterfinal match number 2, our 7 p.m. game set to start here in about 15 minutes. Tonight's action is going to have the Tennessee Titans facing off against the Las Vegas Ramblers. So the Titans, this will be their 2nd match of the day. They did win earlier today in a, I believe, 4-set win to get them to this spot. The Ramblers have yet to play today, so this is their 1st match of the day. They've had a nice full day of hydration, fueling up, resting, stretching, having a nice long warm-up, possibly watching and scouting their opponents here a little bit more, but should be interesting to see how this match unfolds. The Tyrants playing a nice match earlier today, getting some good contributions from all of their players, and we saw some good middle action from their middles Burrell and Buffum, and also a nice setting game from number 1. That was Ryan Kenny. We'll see who's going to take the setting duties this evening between number 1 and number 3, Mitch Whiskerchin. But right now, we're going to go over to Olivia, who's got the head coach from the Ramblers, for some insights. Olivia.
Thanks, Matt. Coach, all weekend you have stressed that if you just play your game, you'll come out on top. What does that need to look like in this one?
Yeah, nothing changes in this match. You know, these guys are scrappy. They remind me a lot of Team Freedom in the sense that they're not going to give up any easy points. They're going to serve tough. They're going to pass well. And as long as we limit our errors and play within ourselves and play in system a lot, not bleed points, we're going to be fine in this match.
Ryan Mather has been such an offensive weapon. How do you get him involved early in this?
You know, that's been a point of emphasis. I've been talking to our setter a lot, and we really need to utilize him in this match if we want to be successful. I think he has some pretty good matchups there against these guys, so hopefully we can utilize him and he can have a good night.
Thanks so much, Coach. Good luck.
Thanks a lot.
Matt, back to you.
Okay, thanks a lot, Olivia, for that insight. Thanks for the head coach from the Ramblers giving us a little call on what he seems to think will be probably a very closely contested match here this evening. Again, the Ramblers have not played yet today, so it should be some fresh legs from their players. Look for them to come out of the gates pretty high and playing an emotional, trying to control the momentum on their side of the court, while the Tyrants, may have shown a few of their cards earlier today by having that match. A couple of their key players, like I was talking about, their outside hitters, Ian Kapp and also Jake Milnaziak, have had huge contributing roles so far through this tournament for the Tennessee Titans, and expect to see them carry a big offensive load through this match as well. Also for the Tennessee Tyrants, Jake Alu, the libero, basically the back row quarterback, he's been playing a really lights out defense. His pass and serve receive has been extremely sharp and welcoming, getting that pass up to the top of the tape so that the Tyrant setters can choose who they want to set in side out receive and also transition. So I expect this to be a highly contested, very competitive game. This again is our last match of the night. We've had several teams get sent home now early, and we have three teams set and advanced to our Sunday action, and this will take the final spot of our Final Four set for Sunday. Tomorrow morning's action, the 10 a.m. game, will be between the OC Stunners and the Team Freedom. That's at 10 a.m. And the 1 o'clock game, the second semifinal, will see the home team Utah Stingers play against the winner of this match. So, last match of the day. Winners get to sleep in a little bit. Again, get some nice recovery and prepare for their match tomorrow against the home team, the Utah Stingers, at 1 p.m. What else have we seen today? This is, like I said, going to be our fourth match of the day. 7 p.m. start here. The Las Vegas Ramblers, good, large, physical team. Got some big guys. You'll see specifically number 11 middle blocker Antoine Aguilar, Long Beach State men's volleyball alumni. He has had several seasons overseas and is a big, physical, athletic middle blocker. You'll see number 14, opposite hitter Ryan Mather for the Las Vegas Ramblers. He's out of Southern California, grew up in Redondo Beach, played his high school volleyball for Duncan Avery at Redondo Union High School, played his college volleyball at Grand Canyon University, and at this point we will send it over to Olivia with a quick sideline interview.
Thanks, Matt. Coach, such a balanced offensive performance this morning. What are you looking for your hitters in this one?
I definitely want to keep our outsides rolling. If our outsides are playing well offensively, I think we're going to be okay. Eddie did a good job this morning on the right side, producing points for us, and then our middles are pretty steady. So outside hitters need to stay the way they were this morning for sure.
Now, who are you going to go to run this offense today?
So Mitch is going to start off for us. He's a really, really good setter for us. And I think him and Ryan, like I said, are the same guy. So he's got some fresh legs. We're going to throw him in there, see what he can do.
Do you like him because of the fresh legs in this matchup?
Yeah, at this point in the tournament, I think that's what it comes down to. Like, what do you have left in the tank? And I think he's got a lot left. And he's also a super competitive guy. So expect some heckling to go on in this match for sure.
Thanks so much, Coach. Good luck.
No problem. Thanks.
Matt.
Yeah, thank you for that insight. At this point of the tournament, there's probably definitely going to be some talking between the net, between these two teams. There's definitely some history here between all the players on the court. I think everyone knows everyone at this point. The scouting reports have been fulfilled, and video has been watched. Also, speaking about some personnel, people of the Las Vegas Ramblers, Giancarlo Grosso, he's of a USC alumni, played for the Trojans several years back. Maybe a little bit undersized as an outside hitter, but his fire is undoubtedly something that he's going to rely on heavily, along with a very quick arm, and he's extremely athletic for his stature. Libero playing for the Ramblers will be Ryan Schickling. He's an Orange County product, played his high school ball down in Laguna Niguel area, and UC San Diego. Spent a few years overseas playing professionally in England and the professional competitive volleyball leagues over there. Setting for the Ramblers will be number 1. That's Tanner Maxwell. He's a Grand Canyon University Antelope as well. Probably got some good time with Ryan Mather over there, so they're familiar with one another, and that's exactly what I needed to hear right there. Therefore, look for the Ramblers to come out hot. As we get our last kind of final swings here during the warm-ups, we'll see a final lineup sheet get turned in and find out the rest of the Ramblers lineup here. But I think the other middle blocker will be number 24. He is Mark Lane. Although number 32, that's Joshua Duarte. Could be a little bit of a toss-up here. So anyways, back to the action here. Sorry, everybody, working on some technical difficulties here in our headsets, but this should line up to be a great match. Like I said, this is the 4th match of the day. The winner of this match punches their ticket to the semifinals, and the final 4 starting tomorrow morning, Sunday, at 10 a.m. Although this team, the winner of this match, will play at 1 p.m. We've got 4 matches tomorrow. We've got the 2 semifinals, and then obviously a 3rd place match and a championship match scheduled for 7 p.m. tomorrow night. That will conclude our event, and it should culminate in quite a competitive day of volleyball tomorrow. But first things first, last quarterfinal of the day. We've got some people watching from around the world. Thank you for tuning in through nvausa.com and this live stream. We want to make a quick shout out to our sponsors, our volleyball supplier, the one and only Mikasa, supporting us with this wonderful yellow and blue volleyball that has commonly been used internationally around the world for high-level professional volleyball. And the Utah Athletic Center, our home for the weekend, playing a host to us that has been second to none, and probably about a total of 25 matches being played here in this lovely facility just north of downtown Salt Lake City. There's a bit of a rainy night outside, so everyone inside is staying dry and looking for some high competitive level volleyball here tonight through the NVA. Thumbs up, I can definitely hear that, and looking forward to getting this match underway. I think the final lineups are in. A short few more minutes here before we get fully underway. The coaches are giving their last little tidbits of expert advice and what they want to see from their players. Everyone knows what's on the line here. Winners play tomorrow, losers go home. Tennessee Tyrants will be in the orange uniforms. They're set up to play on the left side from where I sit. That'll be the right side on your screen, and the gold and black jerseys of the Las Vegas Ramblers will be on the right side of the court. That is to my right. Due to our COVID regulations, what you will see during this match is that you will notice the teams will not do the formal handshakes before and after the match, and they will also not be changing sides of the court between sets. So they will be staying on their respective sides throughout the entirety of this match. And we are just about to get underway. Last formal handshakes there by the crew in blue. Everyone on that squad, team number 3, about to take their positions on the court. We have our up ref and down ref are mic'd up and can communicate to one another. They are utilizing the new electronic whistles. There is some other sports going on in this gymnasium, so there is a little bit of background noise and some other whistles. There's some competitive youth basketball games going on, although I don't quite see as many referees anymore. So if you do hear some whistles, it may be some of that ancillary action that's going on in the background, but our crew here with the NVA is using the electronic whistles for the entirety of this event. A few things I'm really looking forward to watch here. Ryan Mather, he's going to be expected to carry a heavy load. He's the opposite hitter for the Las Vegas Ramblers. Giancarlo Grosso, he's going to be carrying a heavy outside hitter load for that same team as well. And Antoine Aguilar will be expected to produce out of the middle offensively and be a huge blocking factor for their team. The other outside hitter for the Ramblers will be number 17, Kendall Ratter. Played his college ball at Princeton and grew up in lovely North County, San Diego in the city of Carlsbad. So Tyrants will be first to serve. We have Mitch Whiskerchin back to the service line as we start to get this match underway. Quarterfinal action from Salt Lake City, Utah. Mitch with a nice jump serve, passed up by Grosso. Back set to Mather, tips, block back. Covered by Maxwell again to Mather, tips and swipes off the block for a first point of the match. That is absolutely a play that Ryan Mather learned in high school. He'll give credit to Coach Duncan Avery for that one as he utilized the swipe technique off the block. Maybe the set was a tiny bit too tight, but well played by Ryan Mather. Now his turn to go back and jump serve. It's his first service attempt, a little bit of a roll serve, and that goes wide for a point to the Tyrants. Next server for the Tyrants, Jake Milnaziak, has been a huge addition to this team. His serving has been strong throughout this event. He's going to stay down and do a little bit of a jump float. So short, rolls off the net, taken by Maxwell. Down the line attack by Maxwell for a kill. A nice adjustment by him. He steps in, passes the short serve, steps out and attacks down the left side line for a point. Excuse me, that's Kendall Ratter, not Maxwell. Maxwell setting, Ratter is the outside hitter. Here's his jump float serve, passed by Cap. Cap on the outside, tips down the line, played up by Mather. Schickling sets Mather a back row D in transition. That's dug by Mitch. Cap again against a three-man block. Sorry, two-man block, and he hits that ball out wide cross court. So Cap maybe trying to swing to avoid the block a little bit there between Maxwell and Aguilar. That's going to be a key factor for that team in gold, the Ramblers. And here's Ratter serving again. Passed up by Cap. Overhead set to Eddie. Blocked by Aguilar, like we said, and Grosso. So the blockers for the Ramblers making their presence felt early on in this match. Score is currently 4-1, thanks to our score check table. Passed up by Cap. Eddie with a nice D attack, and that ball gets blocked back 29.5 feet into the court. Two straight blocks for the Ramblers, and the score is now 5-1. Tyrants coach Justin Beaumont decides to take a very early timeout. He wants to regroup with his team, maybe try to find a little bit of excitement on their squad, on their side of the court so far. They come out a little bit flat, not too much celebrating, although there hasn't really been much to celebrate. That's two straight blocks by the Ramblers and a couple side outs by the Ramblers as well to give them a 5-1 lead. Ramblers side, they look loose, they look excited, they've got the momentum on their side. They've got 2 straight points off of back-to-back blocks from Antoine Aguilar as he's gone cross-court and cross-court. And here we go, back to action with Ratter back to serve for the Ramblers. Bounces, focuses, here's his jump float serve. Goes down the line to Cap. Cap on the left against 3. He goes out long wide, and that's another hitting error. So the score is now 6-1 Ramblers. The timeout did not slow down the momentum as Cap struggles to pass that ball and then make a second straight hitting error. Ratter continuing his service run, now 6-1 Ramblers. Passed up by Cap. There's a quick attack by Burrell in the middle, and that's exactly what the Tyrants needed. Get them out of that rotation and get that service run squashed and give them a chance to score. Now it's 2 serving 6. So here's Thomas Burrell, number 18. Back with his own jump float hybrid, passed up by Ratter. Maxwell goes quick. Antoine Aguilar flying above the block. Hits that ball cross-body down inside the block of Buffum. And the Ramblers score another point. Good first option quick. Great pass by the Ramblers. I believe that was Ryan Schickling who passed that ball up, their libero. And here's Aguilar with his jump float serve. Passed up by Cap, clear serving target there. And Cap comes back and sides out with a nice attack from the left side cross court for the winner. So here we're going to see Eddie Kiesecker walking back, getting ready to try his hand at a jump serve, number 6. Product from Chicago. We'll rely heavily on his arm in this match as well. That ball gets roll shotted into the net. So Tyrants a little slow out of the gates, missing a few serves, and here we've reached 8 points, so this is going to be our first TV timeout. As soon as one team reaches 8 points, we do take a TV timeout here during our single elimination playoff bracket action. Again, quarterfinal number 2, Las Vegas Ramblers in control early on, 8 serving 3 with a 5-point lead over the Tennessee Tyrants, who've come out a little bit flat. You see Coach Justin over there communicating to his setter, Mitch Whiskerchin, trying to figure out what the strategy needs to be and how he can get his team a little bit of energy, maybe a couple of Red Bulls, a couple of energy drinks, and fire up, get a little emotion going. Now, we've seen the Tyrants all weekend. They're a very emotional team. They're very scrappy. They play great defense, so don't count them out. This is just a little bit slow out of the gates for this team. Now you look across the net, the Ramblers, very physical, maybe a little bit bigger than the Tyrants. You'll see that they've gotten more production out of their middle blockers on the block and attack side. They've gone on a few service runs. They clearly have picked a target as Ian Cap as their service target. They want Cap to serve receive as many balls as possible. And they're doing a great job by keeping the serves away from the libero, Ryan Allu. So here's Maxwell again with a jump serve. Passed up by Jake, up to the net. And Jake's not quite ready for the pick. Throws it back, and that's an unconventional textbook side out for the Tyrants as they get a little bit of a break on that one. It looked like Mitch wanted to set Jake a bick in that one, but he wasn't quite ready as he passed that serve and then was able to score the point with a two-handed set deep into the corner. So here's Ian Cap getting ready for his jump serve. He's been a very reliable jump server, scoring a lot of points with his jump serve throughout this tournament. And that's a great serve, but passed up well by Schickling. Here's Mather on the left. High line attack by Ryan Mather, and no one gets even close to touching that ball. Ryan Mather, all kinds of weapons from the right, from the left, from the front row and the back row, just getting lots of attempts early on in this match. And Giancarlo Grosso goes to back, jump float hybrid that he learned at USC. Nice help, Reed. Buffum with an attack and a cover. There's Jake with a slap over, dug up by Schickling. Mather with the right side attack in transition against a single block, and Ryan Mather gets the winner. So nice heads up play by the Ramblers. Continuing to play, keeping the ball alive, extending the rally, getting a dig, putting the ball over. Finally finishing off with a Ryan Mather kill. Here's Grosso again, hybrid jump serve. Down the line to Jake, passed up. Here's a back row attack from Eddie, dug by Grosso. Left side attack by Ratter, and he gets a nice point. Ramblers finding success inside out and transition hitting right now. In clear control, up early 11-4. Tyrants might be stuck in a tough rotation where their setter Mitch Wisniewski is in the front row. That's Whiskerchin, sorry. That's passed up by Jake. Here's a quick set to Buffum. Slaps it over, dug by Ramblers. Mather in transition on the left, a little roll shot that's dug up by the libero. And we have an overpass kill attack for a point, and that was from Mark Lane, number 24. 12 serving 4 now. Ramblers controlling this first half of this first set of our second quarterfinal. Here's a short serve from Grosso, passed up by Allu. Left side attack by Jake, blocked up, controlled by Mather. Ratter passes up, Maxwell sets quick to Lane, dug by Eddie. And we have a net violation. Net violation on number 1, Maxwell. Some confusion here. I think one ref saw a net violation, another one saw a under-court violation, but the up ref, who does get the final word, says net violation on number 1, Tanner Maxwell. So point goes to the Tyrants as Buffum goes back to serve. Burrell comes into the front row. Confusion has been alleviated, although the Rambler coach is looking for some clarification. And here's Buffum. He's going to be a jump float serve. He's been effective with this serve throughout the day. We've seen him go on several service runs as he hits it across to Ratner. Now Lane comes across all the way from his right side to the left, tries to get a swing in the seam, but unfortunately hits it wide, so there's a point for the Tyrants. And they pull within 6 now, 6 serving 12. Again, Matt Buffum back to jump float serve, goes across, pass by Schickling. Maxwell goes left side to Ratter. He goes cross court, finds the seam, and scores the point with a winner. So well played by the Ramblers. You're seeing quite a diverse offense. You're seeing quick attacks, left side attacks, getting all the players included, although we haven't seen any fast back row Bick attacking yet, but do suspect that we'll see that by the end of this match. Here's a jump float serve from Lane, cross court, passed up by Cap. Jake goes high hands, dug by Grosso. Shoveled up to the left, Ratter controlled. Ralu dives and is not able to keep the ball in play. Give the point to the Las Vegas Ramblers. Now up 14-6. Ramblers extending the play, getting another opportunity to take a good, healthy offensive swing in transition and resulting in a true, real point. Cap with the pass. Mitch decides to set back row Eddie. He goes cross court and gets the winner inside Aguilar's block. Nice back row attack by Eddie Kiesecker. He's going to be relied on to carry a heavy offensive load, and look for that to happen a little bit more now that he's in the front row. Here's a jump serve from the lefty, Mitch. Passed up. Maxwell goes to the big from Grosso under the net. A little bit chaotic. I think he's okay. A block and point nonetheless for the Tyrants. Let's hope Giancarlo Grosso is all right. He's checking his ankle a little bit. Pops up, tests, walks around, loosens it up. Appears to be all right. For those of you who have not seen Giancarlo Grosso play before, he is an explosive, undersized outside hitter and had a great career at USC as an outside hitter, playing for Jeff Nygaard in Los Angeles for the Trojans. Very fiery, very feisty outside hitter. He seems to be okay, and I think I just saw him ask for another set. So here's a jump serve from Mitch into the tape. So nice icing by Giancarlo Grosso to let Mitch think about that a little bit longer than he really wanted to. And now we're halfway through this first set with the Ramblers at 15 and a 7-point lead over the Tyrants. Ryan Mather steps back to jump serve from the right side of the inline. Played a couple years overseas professionally in some European indoor leagues. Here's an outside left side attack by Eddie, blocked up by Maxwell, controlled by Aguilar. Left side attack, Ratter down the line, takes advantage of the smaller blocker. And Kendall Ratter's got a lively arm and takes advantage of Jake's block on his right arm on the outside there and scores the winner. So Tennessee Tyrants coach Justin Beaumont calls his second timeout of the match so far of this first set, down by 8 points. And here we have a little strategy session going on with the Tyrants, trying to figure out what they need to do. I think they need to pass a little bit better first. They need to put some plays together, kind of create a string of successful point scoring opportunities to kind of right the ship a little bit and kind of create some momentum and a little bit of positive emotion right now. They're having a hard time kind of getting the engine going, it seems like. Maybe a little rust on the engine from that last game. Guys are a little bit tight. The oil isn't quite warm enough just yet. And, you know, maybe they're using this first game as sort of a warm-up for the rest of the match, because it is a marathon and not a sprint. It's a 3 out of 5 match. Games to 25. 5th set if necessary to 15 points. Ramblers now back on Gianluca Grasso. Thank you very much for that clarification. As I was saying, the 5th set tiebreaker will be to 15 points if necessary. So Back to action here on Stadium Court in Salt Lake City, Utah Athletic Center. Ryan Mather getting ready to try his luck at another jump serve. Nice high toss, step close, and that ball gets rolled into the net by Ryan Mather. So nice timeout taken by Justin Beaumont. Give him credit for that one. And here's Jake back to jump serve, it looks like, for the Tyrants. Nice spin, passed up by Schickling. Here's Ratter on the left, blocked by Eddie, but covered over. Burrell with a nice quick in transition. Like to see the middles get involved quickly. Scores a fast point in transition for the Tyrants. Nice cover by Eddie and continue that play, and the Tyrants get a chance to extend the play and get another swing in transition. So now down by 6. Jake Milnaziak back to jump serve again. Passed up by Schickling. Maxwell goes quick. Aguilar blocked back by Burnell. And we have 4 contacts on the Ramblers. Grosso probably should have gone over, but it looked as if the ball ricocheted off the block and then off of Aguilar's shoulder as the first contact, and then the third one should have been hit over instead of set over. So mark another point to the Tyrants as they create a little momentum on their side. Jake Milnaziak back again, jump serving. And that wrist away serve goes into the net. I like the effort, and his clear serving target rules were to go to Kendall Ratter, but it didn't go over the net, so give the point to the Ramblers, 17 serving 11. Kendall Ratter now back to jump float serve. Serves down to Cap, passed up, Mitch goes quick to Brunel, and that Burrell gets another quick point on a nice quick attack. Front one set from Mitch. So definitely getting his middles involved now offensively, which is nice to see. Always want to see the middles get established early on in the match. And here's Burrell's jump float serve, that goes long down the line. So right when the Tyrants start to create a little momentum on their offense, they serve the ball out of bounds and give the point right back to the Ramblers, and they can't afford to do that right now. They're down by 5 points, 6 points, and the Ramblers are a physical team that will take advantage of that. Here's Aguilar, serves across court. Cap swings left side, down the line, dug up by Mather. Mather will free ball this one over, passed by Alu. Mitch goes quick to buff him, blocked by Lane. Ball's got to go over, and it can't make it. Finds the floor. Mark that a point towards the Rambler side. Now 19 serving 12. Aguilar goes back to serve again for the Ramblers. 19 serving 12. Jump float serve, cross court, pass by Jake. Mitch goes overhead to Eddie Kiesecker, and he hits out line. So Eddie Kiesecker has been a strong arm for the Tyrants throughout this tournament, but however, that swing attempt when he wanted to hit down the line went wide and misses the court. And another point goes to the Ramblers, now serving 20-19. Passed up by Cap. Mitch goes to buff him, dug by Aguilar. Ratter out of the back row, blocked back, and that ball is going to fall on the side of the Ramblers. 13 serving 20. A substitution here, serving sub, Eddie Kiesecker. It appears like we're going to be seeing the double sub. And number 1, Ryan Kenny is going to be coming in to serve. He will also assume the setting duties as he is now playing right back. And we see Mitch Whiskerchin being subbed out for Peter Namiotko. He will now play right front as the opposite hitter. So Tyrants now have 3 hitters across the front. Passed up by Grosso. Right side back row attack by Mather. No blocker up. Dug by Alu. Cap tries. Dug up by Schickling. Nice libero battle going on. Right side, Peter gets a swing and a kill. His first swing attempt for a big point given to the Tyrants, and that's now 14 serving 20. Nice digging duties carried by both liberos on each team. And here's Kenny back to serve again. Passed up by Grosso. Left side attack, quick attack, and a sharp angle. Nice hit by Gianluca Grasso. Ramblers 21, serving 14. Maxwell now back to serve. He'll jump serve down the middle of the court, wrist away, passed up by Alu. Kenny goes overhead. Ian Cap gets blocked by Grasso. So Grasso making some huge contributions after a look to appear to be a possible rolled ankle injury, but he has rebounded nicely and has put his team on his back and is carrying his squad. Good contributions from Gianluca Grasso. Maxwell's serve goes long. It's an aggressive miss, 22-15. Ramblers with a 7-point lead, comfortably in control late in this first set. Here's Ian Cap. Ian Cap is capable of going on some service runs. We saw 9 aces out of him in one match in yesterday's action. And that is a strong serve pass by Ratter. Overpassed by Grasso. There's a quick in transition by Buffum, dug by Maxwell, pursued. Here's a free ball coming from the Ramblers. They go short, pass by Peter. Right side attack by Peter down the line. We have a net violation on Ryan Mather of the Las Vegas Ramblers. So, unfortunate net there. It's nice high-level volleyball being played by both sides. 16 serving 22. Ian Cap capable of going on a run. It was a nice serve by him previously down the line. And this time, he serves the ball out long. Good attempt. That's an aggressive miss, and I think Coach Justin Beaumont is okay with that miss. It's over the net. It's a miss nonetheless, but it's out long through the inline. And it's not a free, it is a free point, but it's at least close to being in. There's Grasso's jump hybrid serve. Jake on the left side attack, dug up by Schickling. Maxwell goes to the left. Ratter goes eye off the hands. Scores the point for the Ramblers. And Ratter almost aiming at the ceiling for that swing and got the high fingers of number 14 in orange. So set point to the Ramblers. Grasso back to serve. Jump spin, and he blasts that one into the net. So maybe not the serve the Ramblers were looking for, but I think Grasso sort of got in his own head about what to do. A little overzealous on that effort. So here's Buffum with a jump float serve, goes cross, passed up by Ratter. Maxwell goes left side attack, Ratter OT to the corner for a point, and the Ramblers strike first blood 25-17 in this second quarterfinal. They come out with some authority, and they take game number 1, 25-17 over the Tennessee Tyrants. So Tyrants came out a little bit flat. Ramblers were able to establish a nice 4-point lead early on in this game, and therefore the Ramblers were able to carry that momentum throughout the remainder of that first set and find themselves up 1-2-0 so far. So if I'm the Tyrants, I'm looking over at their huddle, Coach Justin Beaumont talking to his team, pointing to each other, telling his players what he needs to see from each of them, where to set your block, what we need to do on block and defense. I think we need to create some block points, some opportunities for some second chance attacks, and extend the rallies. For the Ramblers over there in the black and gold, I don't think they really did anything wrong per se in that first set. I don't know what adjustments they possibly need to do. They did play a pretty clean game of volleyball right there, other than maybe a net violation here and there and a few maybe overzealous missed serves. They passed the ball really well. They attacked from the left side very well. Their efficiency was at probably a very high clip. They blocked the ball well. So I don't see any personnel changes coming from the Ramblers. I don't think when you win 25-17 that you would change anybody, especially going in through this quarterfinal game number 2. So what to expect? Tennessee Tyrants need to come out with some emotion in this set. They need to possibly dial up their lineup a little bit, find some fire from these guys. Like I said, they did play earlier today. The Ramblers, you can see them taking advantage of that extended rest and recovery that they were able to get, as this is their first match of the day and the Tyrants' second. So you see the Ramblers taking full advantage of the ability to stay comfortable, stay loose, come out with some good energy. And the Tennessee Tyrants, like I said, might be a little bit fatigued from that early match. I believe this is their 5th match of this tournament over the last 3 days. So the miles and the minutes and the points are probably starting to add up a little bit for the team in orange. But you know what? We've seen them scrap all weekend long, and I don't expect them to go quietly into the night. They have shown that they have the ability to really scrap and fight and bounce back and rebound nicely from a first game loss. So I do see one personnel change. It looks as if Ryan Kenny is in the front row. Will take over the setting duties here in game number 2 for the Tyrants, and that means that Peter Namioko is also staying in the back row. Looks like he'll be playing opposite. We've got, who else? Jake Milnaziak and Ian Kapp continue to stay in. Burrell and Buffum as the middle attackers, and Ryan Alu as the libero for the Tyrants. So 2 changes there for the Tyrants, and the Ramblers look like they return their same starting 7. You've got Ryan Schickling playing libero, Anton Aguilar, and let's see, Mark Lane in the middle. You've got number 1, Tanner Maxwell, continuing to take the setting duties. Number 17, that's Kendall Ratter as the outside hitter, and also Gianluca Grasso. I have to apologize. I was mispronouncing Gianluca's name for most of that first set. But here he is. Gianluca Grasso will be our first server here of set number 2. He gets the green light, and here comes his first service attempt. A jump float hybrid, passed up by Jake. Kenny goes quick right out of the gates for a fast point. So establish the middle quick. Thomas Burrell getting up early, showing his setter his window, and being able to hammer that ball down fast for a quick point. 1-0 Tyrants take the lead. Here's Ryan Kinney with a jump float, passed up by Grasso. Maxwell goes quick to Lane, and he scores the first point for his Ramblers. So we have a little middle-on-middle battle going on. Both teams establishing their quick hitters early and often. Both middle blockers getting up early, showing their setter the window of where they want the ball, and both of them scoring with the wrist-away quick attack on the front one. Now Mark Lane back to jump float serve, pass by Cap. Kenny goes back to the middle. Burrell that time gets blocked. I'm not sure if it cleared the net or not, but Antoine Aguilar with a good read, and Burrell does not score the point, so 2-1 Ramblers. Mark Lane back to serve once again. Number 24 for the Ramblers, bit of a jump float. Ian Cap passed up. Another set quick to Burrell. I like the repeat and delete, as they used to say. He comes back and scores the point wrist away. Establishing the confidence between your setter and middle connection. As a former middle blocker myself, I must give props to Ryan Kenny for keeping his middles involved. Well, here's Jake going back to jump serve. Down the middle of the court, passed up by Ryan Schickling. This time Ryan Mather overhead, and he takes full advantage. Ian Cap not even in the same zip code blocking that ball, and Ryan Mather scores the point. So after several quick attacks from both sides, Ryan Mather scores the first point from a non-middle hitter position, as he now goes back to jump serve. It's cross court, pass by Jake, overpassers. Maxwell takes care and cleans up the mess that's been left by Jake's overpass. Nice serve by Ryan Mather. And it all starts with some pressure from the inline, ladies and gentlemen. Ryan Mather, a nice high toss, gets some nice connection with the ball and puts some serious heat behind it. This time comes down to area 6, overpass by Ryan Alu, and this time Kendall Ratter cleans up the mess. A messy overpass for another point. So service inline pressure coming from the Ramblers, causing a little bit of the Tyrants to be back on their heels. 2 consecutive overpasses from Ryan Mather jump serves. Ryan Mather's arm is definitely warm and fresh. That time gets a little help from the net, passed up by Cap. Kenny goes left side attack against a 3-man block, and that's blocked back by, I believe, Antoine Aguilar. Kendall Ratter and Tanner Maxwell. Nicely formed 3-man block, and the Tennessee Tyrants call their first time out of this second set. So there's 3 straight points scored by the Ryan Mather jump serve. You can see his jump serve is going to cause some problems for the Tennessee Tyrants. 2 straight overpasses and then an out-of-system pass from Ian Cap, which resulted in a nice high ball set. However, it was against a 3-man block, which was nicely formed shoulder to shoulder and results in a nice stuff down block for the Ramblers. Now with a 4-point lead at 6-2. So you can see the Ramblers nice and loose over there in their timeout. Head coach throwing out a couple of pointers here and there, maybe a few pearls. What to do, watch the middles go and wrist away. Tyrants on this side, you know, they need to weather the storm. They're trying to see if they can ice Ryan Mather's serve here. Now back in his days at high school, I think he might have rattled himself, but now that he's a professional volleyball player, let's see how he reacts to this icing attempt from Coach Justin Beaumont of the Tyrants. Here comes his jump serve. Takes a little bit off, rolls it in, pass by Cap, right side attack to Peter, and there's another consecutive block by the block of the Ramblers. Antoine Aguilar and Kendall Ratter pair up for another stuff down block. You can really see the block defense coming together for the Ramblers with the continued service pressure coming from the inline. Tyrants are spinning a little bit, now down 7-2. Ryan Mather heating it up, and that one, he wanted it, so he went for it. That one goes out of bounds long. So I believe that was 5 straight serves by Ryan Mather. He pieces together a nice service string as the Ramblers carry a 4-point lead. Here's Thomas Burrell back to serve now for the Tyrants. Jump float serve cross court, pass by Schickling. Ramblers set Mather, and he gets blocked. So we're starting to see the blocks warm up from both sides of the court. Perhaps Mather a little fatigued after that long service run, but he says that set was fine. He takes the blame for getting that block. And now Burrell goes back to serve once again, 4 serving 7. Passed up by Ratter. Left side attack here by Ratter, controlled by Peter, but not able to get picked up by the Tyrants. So give the point to the Ramblers, and we have our first television timeout at 8 serving 4 with the Ramblers with a 4-point lead. Good action early on here in the second set of our second quarterfinal match, our final match of the day here at the Utah Athletic Center in North Salt Lake City. Thank you so much for tuning in on NVA USA live stream. I want to give a quick shout out to our volleyball sponsor, the one and only Mikasa. Thank you so much for your continued support and supply of the world's best indoor volleyball. You can see this high level of volleyball would not be able to be done without this ability to play with this terrific volleyball. And so far we have a very somewhat more competitive game 2 than we did in game 1. And no, it's still early. The 8-point TV team timeout gives both teams a chance to kind of regroup a little bit early on, try to set the course on how they want to continue through this game in this first half of this second set. We saw a nice run by Ryan Mather and the Ramblers. They do have a 4-point lead currently as we come back out onto the court, and both teams appear to be ready to go as that television timeout has concluded. And now Kendall Ratter will be serving for the Ramblers. There's a jump float serve down the line to Cap, passed up to Kenny, back set to Peter. Oh, Grosso gets a nice deflection, however, it sort of steals it from Ryan Schickling, and they both realize that you go, I go. I could have had that if you hadn't touched it, but good move nonetheless by Grosso, and give the point to Peter Namiako. Now here's Peter's jump serve. It's high toss, spins it in. Out assistant pass come from Schickling. High ball left side to Grosso. He rainbow roll shots it, picked up by Cap. Buffum comes quick, dug up by Mather. Mather's step closes out of the back row. He roll shots it, dug up by Alu. Quick again by Buffum, and Antoine Aguilar says, no, sir. That was a complete stuff down. I believe Aguilar committed on the middle in that transition attack and was able to shut that one down. So nice block from the Long Beach State 49er alumni. We've got a short conversation going on over there between Maxwell and the up ref. Not too sure what they're discussing. Maybe something to do with the over-exuberant celebration from the bench, but I'm not too sure here. Whatever they did, they've come to an agreement, and now Antoine will prepare to serve for the Ramblers. There's a jump float down the line to Alu, a little bit out of system. Here's Cap on the left. Touched by Maxwell, he covers himself. Ratter sets Mather from the back row, and he comes in full steam ahead, full steam freight train, and just crushes that D set in transition for another kill. Ryan Mather making huge contributions for his team so far early on in this second game. Now 10 serving 5, Ramblers with a good 5-point cushion. Antoine Aguilar back to serve again for the Ramblers. Jump floats down the line to Alu. Kenny goes big to Jake. That one's picked up by Ratter, hits a girder as it goes over, and that is out of bounds. And we're gonna have another conversation quickly this time between Ryan Kenny and the up ref. I'm not too sure what that conversation has to do with the game, but something needed to be addressed, and so it was. Ian Cap now jogs back to the end line, and he prepares to try his hand at his jump serve. Down by 4, 6 serving 10. A third of the way through set number 2 here in our second quarter final. Cap's jump serve, hard, passed up by Ratter, out of system. Maxwell has to run. Grosso roll shots it in. Slapped up by Peter. Buffum sets left side. Jake, that's dug by Mather. Here's Mather's attempt in transition, and he goes high hands and out of bounds deep in the court for another point in transition swing from Mather. Mather just cleaning up every chance he gets. If they're in trouble and they send Mather a high ball, he's hitting at a pretty good percentage to get that point. Now 11 serving 6 Ramblers. Maxwell back to serve. Nice serve, pass by Cap. And that's Buffum out of the middle for a quick attack. So a not perfect pass, but good enough for Kenny to establish the throw-in quick set to Buffum. And they continue to work on that connection as we see this game continue. Buffum now back to serve. Thomas Burrell comes into the front row as the other middle blocker. Buffum looks like he's going to try to serve down the line, as he does, a little bit short to Grasso. And here's Mather swinging on the left against one blocker, dug up by Buffum. Jake transition swing on the left, and he goes wide, of trying to avoid the Rambler block, and results in a hitting attack going wide outside the court, give the point to the Ramblers. So that was a nicely formed block by the Ramblers. Jake maybe swinging to avoid the block, results in an out of bounds attack. Here's Grasso, jump float, passed up by Cap. Jake attempts again. This time he finds the floor in front of Ryan Schickling for a point to the Tyrants. Schickling a little disappointed in that effort. I think if he took a step forward, he may end up with that dig. I think that might not happen again if I was him. Ryan Kenny now, jump float serve. Passed up by Ratter. Here's Lane, quick attack dug by Alu. Right side attack from Peter in transition. Dug up by Grasso, pursuit by Maxwell. Here's Lane with an unorthodox roll shot. Cap on the pick, and he finds the floor for a point. I don't think he expected to get set. But you know what? It doesn't matter how pretty it is. The ball fell on the floor, and that results in a point for the Tyrants. A few wry smiles there from the team in orange. And here's Ryan Kenny ready to float serve again. He goes down the line this time to Ratter. Passed up. Here's Mather overhead, and he continues to be unstoppable from the right in the front row and the back row, continuing his opposite dominance performance, and he will continue to be a big target for Maxwell and the Ramblers. Mark Lee now back to serve. Saunters up to the end line, jump float serve, passed up by Burrell. Overhead is set to Jake. Big block by Kendall Ratter. He closed that out, saw that Jake was going to go for a bit of a roll shot. Ratter did a great job adjusting his block and reaching to just throw that back down in Jake's face as he got out of the way. So now 14-9, Ramblers with a 5-point lead. There's Lane's jump serve, goes back, pushes Alu to the inline, passed up. Here's Peter on the left, dug up by Grasso. Maxwell goes Grasso big, and that's controlled. Peter again with a little tip roll shot, covered up by Mather. That ball goes over. Ratter, unorthodox block there. Mather covered. Burrell hits the overpass and finds the floor. Not the prettiest volleyball in that rally, ladies and gentlemen, but you know, a point nonetheless. We're not going to say that was a textbook play as if they drew it up that way, but they will take the point and now have an opportunity to try to string a few serves together and create some kind of momentum as we approach the middle point of the second set. Jake Milnaziak back to jump serve for the Tyrants. Good lineup, although he misses wide cross court with his jump serve. And mark a quick point over to the Ramblers. Ryan Mather now getting ready to serve. Last time around, he went for about a 5-point service run. So let's see what he's got in the tank this time. Nice high toss, step close. Side spin corkscrew serve, and that ball goes out long. I think Ryan kind of misconnected on that one. Not the result that he was expecting. And give the point to the Tyrants. So perhaps a little fatigue setting in over there for Ryan Mather. He's had quite a few swing attempts. So here's Thomas Burrell. He serves it across to Grasso. Out of system, here's Mather out of the back row. There's a nice cross-court swing. Great set by Maxwell. You can see that there's definitely an existing relationship there between Tanner Maxwell and Ryan Mather, both antelopes of the Grand Canyon University men's volleyball program. And you can see that they did play some volleyball together over the years, and they do know where each other likes to set the ball. Here's Kenny. He goes outside to Cap. Picked up by Schickling. Grasso in transition, controlled back, dug up by Ratter. Grasso again on the left. This time he gets a touch for the point. And the Ramblers continuing to extend the rally, covering their hitters, making the rally last a few plays longer. Finally finding the floor with Grasso's swing cross court. Here's Kendall Ratter preparing to serve now with the Ramblers up 17-11. Jump float serve taken by Jake. Buffum, quick hit, dug up by Schickling. Grasso can't quite step close on that one. He has to free ball it over. Kenny goes outside to Cap, and that ball goes down the line for a kill. Nice swing by Ian Cap. Tennessee Tyrants finds the line corner for a point. Not too sure what happened on that set play over there by the Ramblers. We're going to see a substitution here by the Tennessee Tyrants. I believe we're going to see a double sub as number 1, Mitch Wiskerchin will come in to take over the setting duties for Peter Namiotko, and Eddie Kiesecker will come in for Ryan Kinney. So the Tennessee Tyrants employing the double sub technique. Now they will have 3 hitters through the front row once again. Few clerical duties to be done here by our team in blue. And they are ready to go. So here is Mitch's jump float serve. Lefty goes cross court, passed up by Ratter. Gianluca Grasso. That was a set play right there. You know, Gianluca and Tanner Maxwell discussed the play they wanted to do and completely caught Eddie Kiesecker off guard and not prepared for that to happen. So Grasso gets a nice easy swing with no single blockers in front of him. Not something you see very often. Here's Aguilar with a jump float serve, passed up by Cap. Mitch goes to Buffum, off the tape, dug by Aguilar. Lane slaps it over, dug by Alu. Right side attack by Cap, and that finds the floor as Lane did not get his hands over the net, and the ball is driven between him, his chest, and the net for a point to the Tyrants. Now 13 serving 18. Tyrants could use a little service run of their own here, try to develop some momentum, get a couple of points back onto the board, down by 5. See if Cap can string a few together here. Nice serve, dug up by Ratter. Left side attack, timing is off by Grasso, has to free ball it over. Here's Buffum, quick in trans, blocked back by Lane. Not sure who dug that ball, but it results in a Cap hit attempt into the net. And Coach Justin Beaumont quickly jumps up off the bench and calls another timeout for the team in orange for them to regroup a little bit. So, slight discombobulation. Needs to be a little bit more clear on who's going to take the second ball there in that game for the Tennessee Tyrants. And Justin Beaumont talking to his team, trying to kind of corral his players to get on the same page, see what they need to do, and come up with some type of game plan to weather the storm here. It's 19-13, Ramblers with a comfortable 6-point lead. something needs to be changed by the Tennessee Tyrants in order to get this game a little bit more competitive and not fall down into an 0-2 deficit in games, as this is a best 3 out of 5 match. Meanwhile, on the Ramblers side, you see lots of laughs, good smiles, good energy. Guys are playing at a high level. Again, not a whole lot to critique, though rather maybe a little bit of a timing issue between Tanner Maxwell and Grasso on their offensive set plays. But let's see what they have to do as they come back out of this timeout, and the Ramblers will be serving. Tyrants are now out of timeouts. Ramblers asking for a server check. Make sure they have the correct server. They are in rotation 1, and player number 1, Tanner Maxwell, with a full head of hair, will go back to the inline here. Get set for his serve attempt. He will jump serve. Nice spin in, passed up by Alu. There's a bit to Cap. That ball never clears the net. And give the point to the Ramblers. Hitting error for the Tyrants. Now in that situation, you have 3 front row hitters. I'd like to see Mitch maybe make the choice to set someone in the front row. But I don't know what he knows, so maybe they had that play set out of the timeout. Here's Maxwell serving again. Ooh, side spin action. That one sails long out of bounds. Tanner Maxwell maybe tried to give that one a little extra mustard. And unfortunately, the side spin doesn't stay in the playing surface. And let's check in with our sideline reporter, Olivia. You got some insights from that timeout.
Thanks, Matt. On the Tyrant side, Coach said they're just simply playing a little bit better than us. Let's take a deep breath. We're trying to do a little too much on offense that we don't need to do. We just need to get up nice and high, read the block. And he added that their first touch is good. They just need to figure out how to score points in transition. Matt?
Awesome. Thanks, Olivia, for that insight. Yeah, they are playing a little bit better, and we see a situation like that last play where Thomas Burrell, the middle blocker, decides he wants to be the setter, and that doesn't help the cause. So double contact is called. There's Grasso's serve across the net. Eddie Kiesecker up. Block back, a 3-man block by the Ramblers. Here's a quick attack by Burrell. That ball is picked up by Mather. Free ball coming. Mather with a nice pancake. There's Jake on the left, and then he finds the court for the point. Mather disgusted with his blocking attempt there. That was not an ideal block move by him. Him and Mark Lane didn't get shoulder to shoulder, and here we have another double sub for the Tennessee Tyrants. Kenny's going to come back into the back row, as is Namiotko into the front row. So the double sub employed one more time as the Tyrants currently down by 6, 21-15. And Ryan Kinney prepares to serve. A little bit of a jump float hybrid, passed up by Schickling. Ryan Mather with right side attack, that's controlled. Alu sets right side to his opposite. That one's controlled by Grasso. Here's Grasso on a pick in transition. He comes flying out against one blocker and absolutely pings Alu off the back, and that goes out of bounds. Grasso flying out of the back row with a nice bick in transition. Now 3 points away from taking this second set. Coach Beaumont trying to have a quick conversation with the down ref. Here's Mark Lee with his jump float serve, passed by Cap. Kenny goes outside to Peter, dug up by Grasso again. There's a free ball coming by Grasso, taken by Cap. Kenny goes left side to Peter again, controlled, dug by Ratter. Right side attack from Mather coming, he tips, blocked back by Burrell, slapped around, Ratter. Transition attempt and a kill by Kendall Ratter, really coming in clutch for some of these out-of-system extended rallies. Getting a nice heavy arm swing on a not ideal situation and scoring the point. Ramblers now in control, 23-15, 2 points from taking the second set. Mark Lane back to serve. Jump float serve, passed by Alu, a little bit out of system. Here's Jake on the right, and that's blocked off. That's hit off of the Ramblers block for a point, as Ratter didn't get his arms and hands positioned where he wanted to, and Jake takes advantage of it. So here we have Jake Milnaziak back to serve, down by 7 points, trying to find some momentum so they can carry it into the third set. Here's Jake's jump serve. Aggressive toss, gets a little help from the net, passed up by Ratter, hit over by Aguilar. Dug up by Jake, Cap in transition, and he scores a point. The Tyrants manufacturing some points and opportunities in transitions. Starts with a nice serve from Jake. Ian Cap coming in hard and getting a good kill in transition. And pitter-patter of little feet possibly coming up, scoring some points. Don't count us out yet. Jake again, unfortunately, his serve finds the net, and that puts 24 points on the board for the Ramblers, and Ryan Mather now goes back to serve at game number 2 set point. Ryan Mather, forced from the inline, heavy heat, catches the top of the net, ricochets off Alu, and that is not returnable. Give Ryan Mather an ace, and the Ramblers win game number 2, 25-17. Dominating performance from the inline by Ryan Mather and the Las Vegas Ramblers, as they never allowed the Tyrants to find any kind of rhythm whatsoever in their serve-receive game. And look for that trend to continue if the Ramblers want to win this match in a 3-0 sweep and punch their ticket to tomorrow's semifinals. So for the Tennessee Tyrants now, they have been stuck on 17 points in both of the games so far. We've got the coaching staff discussing what lineups perhaps they want to do. Guys are kind of looking at each other like, what do we need to do here, boys? Let's find some energy. You see Jake trying to instill a little bit of strategy and fire amongst his team. Buffum agrees with him. Let's keep it light. Let's play within ourselves. Let's try to have some fun. Not a lot of smiles, not a lot of celebrations by the Tennessee Tyrants, and not a lot of scrappy plays. Now, all that stuff, you've got to give credit to the Las Vegas Ramblers. They have been playing at a very high level, and they have not allowed the Tyrants to create any kind of momentum whatsoever. The Ramblers' serve game has been on point, very consistent and very strong, keeping the Tyrants out of system for the majority of this match thus far, and also resulting in probably a fairly low hitting percentage and efficiency by the Tyrants. And in converse fashion, the Ramblers have been hitting at a very high percentage as they've been passing fairly well, and the serve pressure from the Tyrants has not gotten the Ramblers really out of system all that much throughout this match. So, what to see from the Tyrants? Here we have Coach Justin Beaumont. Looks like he's approaching the scorers table with his lineup set for game number 3. So here we go. Third set about to start on our second quarter final of today's final match here at Salt Lake City, the Utah Athletic Center. My name is Matt Prosser. Thank you for tuning in on NVAUSA.com. Wherever you are in the world, thank you for watching. This is day 3 of 4 for the Salt Lake City NVA Showcase. I believe this is match number 324. No, just kidding. Probably more like match number 13 in this tournament. We had the first 2 days of pool play. We had 8 teams signed up for this tournament. 2 conferences of 4 teams each playing pool play, one against each other for seeding purposes into today's and tomorrow's single elimination bracket tournament as everyone advanced after seeding purposes. Right now you have the Tennessee Tyrants, who I believe were the 3rd seed from the National Conference, and the Las Vegas Ramblers, who were the 3 seed from the American Conference, facing off each other. I'm sorry, the 2nd seed from the American Conference. And here we are now with the Ramblers in control, 2-0, looking to punch their ticket to the semifinal match tomorrow at 1 p.m., where they will potentially play the home team Utah Stingers, who are not in attendance. They may be watching this online, taking notes and seeing what the Ramblers prefer to do in any given situation and how those Utah Stingers can perhaps combat that. The Tyrants, they've got their work cut out for them. If they want to move on to the semifinals, they have to win the next 3 games, force this to a 5th game tiebreaker, and also win that one. We do have it appears to be one personnel change for the Tyrants. That is number 8, Race Munger, coming in to play middle hitter. He's starting in rotation 1 and will be the first server for the Tennessee Tyrants. So a little bit of a change up there. This jump float serve goes across, taken by Ratter. Here's left side attack, and that is just absolutely detonated by Ratter as Maxwell just tees him up to drive that ball home. Olivia, got any insights from that timeout?
Thanks, Matt. We're seeing it from the Ramblers. So confident, so composed. And that last huddle, they said the two things we can control are our blocks and serves. Let's continue to be disciplined on the block. Our serves are putting them in hard spots. And that's really what Coach Vincent has been stressing this entire weekend. If we just play our game, we're going to be fine. And that's what we're seeing here. Matt?
Thanks, Olivia. Yeah, nice insights from the coach there from the Ramblers. Obviously, the confidence level is high for the Ramblers, and that is quite apparent as well. Ryan Mather just missed on that line transition swing. He missed wide, so give the point to the Tyrants, and we're locked at 1 point apiece. Early action in this third set. There's Ryan Kinney with the jump float serve. That doesn't clear the tape, and give the point to the Ramblers. Ryan Kinney not satisfied with that service attempt and disappointed in his effort. There's Kendall Ratter prepping the serve for the Ramblers. Jump float serve coming. Passed up by Burrell. And unfortunately, that broken play did not result in a point, although the Ramblers do get the point on the board. And now Ratter back to serve again, 3 serving 1. Thomas Burrell kind of got in the way there. I don't think he really should have passed that ball, but it was a little bit tight. Let the libero take the ball next time, Thomas. There's Jake. He struggles to pass out of system. Here's a down ball from Ian Cap. Passed up by Ratter. Aguilar tries his hand at a quick attack, and that doesn't make it over the net. Antoine Aguilar is a flyer, and you'll see he just told his setter he needs that set higher. Got to set my ball higher, sir. I can jump high and allow me to hit the ball at the highest point, please. Here's Jake's jump float serve down the line to Ratter. And Aguilar gets another chance. That time, Maxwell finds the proper height, and Aguilar drives that ball deep in the corner for a point. Nice to see Maxwell go back to Aguilar, say, my bad on that first one, teammate. Here's another one. Let's get back on the train and get this thing going in the right direction. There's Aguilar jump float to Jake. That's out of system and unreturnable for an ace. The passing of the Tyrants has really let them down so far in this match. See, that's not the most difficult jump float serve from Antoine Aguilar. Jake is a little bit disappointed in that effort. Realizes he's got to focus a little bit more on his serve reception. There's Aguilar with the jump float, coming back to Jake again. That one's sprayed a little bit. And Ryan Kinney gets called for a lift as that ball is not settable. So 2 straight points scored by Aguilar, and it appears that we will be having a substitution here for the Tennessee Tyrants as Jake is going to get subbed out for number 10. That's Dan Nugent coming into the game. I'm sure the Ramblers realize who the newbie is on the court, and Aguilar will certainly be serving the ball down the line to Nugent as he passes the ball underhand. Cap from the left side, he slaps that ball out of bounds long, looking for a touch, isn't going to get it, and give another point to the Vegas Ramblers. Now up by 5, 7 serving 2. One more point till the TV timeout as Antoine Aguilar prepares to continue his service run. Jump float serve short, taken up by Alu. There's a right side attack by Peter, and that ball careens off the block of Mark Lane and give the point to the Tyrants. They needed that side out, and they got it. Not the prettiest, not the most impressive side out, but effective nonetheless. As Thomas Burrell steps back and prepares to float serve himself. Here's his jump float. Comes across, passed up by Ratter. Maxwell goes back D set to Mather, and he scores the point. Hard cross-court attack by Ryan Mather. And a few words across the court, not too sure what's being said. And we've come to 8 serving 3, and that takes us to a TV timeout. And a sponsor shout out to our ball provider here in the Salt Lake City NVA Showcase, the one and only Mikasa. Official F5VB volleyball, official NVA volleyball as well. Thank you to our sponsor Mikasa for supplying the volleyballs, the volleyball carts, and also the inflatable volleyball that you see in the background on that nice screenshot of our stadium court here in Salt Lake City. So thank you once again, shout out to Mikasa. So TV timeout here, game number 3. My name's Matt Prosser. Thanks for watching on NVAUSA.com. Quarterfinal number 2, Las Vegas Ramblers squaring off against the Tennessee Tyrants. And if you've been watching this match since we've started, you've seen that it's been fairly one-sided the entire time. The Ramblers have been in control from the very first serve. They've gone on multiple service runs, multiple blocking runs, multiple transition kill runs, and really have been in control from the get-go. Tennessee Tyrants are having a hard time trying to find their identity, trying to find some momentum, and trying to find some ways to score some points and get their point total a little bit more closer to 25 than 17, as the first two sets have gone to the Ramblers in those scores, 25-17 and 25-17. Okay, TV timeout is concluded, and here's Tanner Maxwell back to serve for the Ramblers. Jump serve rolls into the net as Tanner got iced by the TV timeout. Tyrants 4, Ramblers 8. Peter Namiotko, number 14, back to serve for the Tyrants. High toss, jump serve coming from Peter. Passed up by Ratter, a little bit out of system, has to get bump set. Here's to Mather, three-man block, and he gets stuffed down. And Munger has a few choice words for Ryan Mather after that play. A little bit feisty. Munger's going to get a yellow card. Mather laughs it up. Kenny, okay, underhand shakes through the net. Everyone seems to just be having fun, although, you know, it is a little intense. I mean, this is a competitive sport, but we do see some smiles. And really, Ryan Mather, all he has to say is check the scoreboard there, Race, and let's see what you say after that. So here's Peter, and he foot faults. Also serves the ball into the net. Double negative does not equal a positive in that situation, and score the point to the Ramblers. Now 9-5. Gianluca Grasso showing off his ball spinning skills. Bounces, prepares to jump serve. This is hybrid serve, passed it by Nugent. Munger off the net, quick attack for the point. Nice to see Kenny throw that ball in from off the net and get Munger involved in the offense. Munger, the tallest guy on the Tennessee Tyrants team. He appears to be about 6'9", weighing in at a paltry 150 pounds. Looks like he could use to have a few more steak and potatoes for dinner. Ian Cap now back to serve, number 4 for Orange, Tennessee Tyrants. Here's his jump serve. Nice serve, passed up by Grasso. Maxwell goes out a Ratter, dug up and not returnable as Nugent tries to go under the net. Nicely done by the Ramblers. All starts with a pass. You can see the passing game of the Ramblers has been somewhat superior than the Tyrants. Although the Tyrants have been able to put some pressure on with their serve, the Ramblers have been able to work themselves out of it. So here's Mark Lane, jump floatser, passed up by Alu. Kenny with the two-handed set over on 2, catches the Ramblers campfired out, roasting marshmallows, and give the point to the Tyrants. Kenny getting involved in the offense as not only a setter, but give him a point. So here's Munger on the inline now. Tiptoes up to the inline with a jump float hybrid, passed by Ratter. Ratter attacks on the left, down the line, dug by Peter. There's a high ball set to Nugent, high hands. Grasso can't control that as that goes out of the playing area for a point to the Tyrants. And now the Tyrants getting a little excitement on their bench, a little momentum, showing a little emotion as they pull within 2 points in this third set. Munger again, jump float, little roll shot hybrid, passed by Ratter. There's Mather from the right side, and he says enough is enough. I will swing at this ball and score a point cross court. Ryan Mather relying on his arm for some serious power and point scoring capabilities for the Vegas Ramblers, now up by 3, 11-8. Ryan Mather jump serving, takes a little bit off, passed up by Cap. Kenny goes left side to Nugent, played up by Maxwell. Mather's gonna set Ratter. Ratter gets a swing in transition for a kill. So a little out of the ordinary transition play. Nice cover by Maxwell, set by Mather. He gets an assist and a swing by Ratter in transition. Mather now back to the inline again. It's 12-8 with a 4-point cushion, seeing if he can create a bit of a string. That's a bit of a roll shot jump serve. Passed up by Alu. Peter Namioko on the back. That's controlled. Here's Mather from the D. Tip blocked by Burrell, and Mather gets shut down on a one-on-one block. I don't think that set was exactly where he wanted it to be. Maybe a little bit too far out in front, and Burrell comes up with the block and the point for the Tyrants. Here's Ryan Kenny now back to serve. Down by 3. A bit of a jump serve this time. Passed up by Grasso. Aguilar comes flying, overpass by Kenny, and Ratter again cleaning up the transition kill, scoring another point. Ratter really having a nice match, getting good offensive looks, whether inside out or transition. Quite a few overpasses coming his way, and really being quite reliable on his offense. There's Kendall Ratter now preparing to serve from the inline for the Ramblers. 4-point cushion. Jump float taken by Cap. Right side attack by Nugent down the line, and that ball goes wide out of bounds. Nugent can't believe he missed it. And give the point to the Ramblers. Number 10 in orange wants to get that one back. So here's Kendall Ratter preparing to serve one more time. Jump float comes across to Cap. Kenny passes, sets outside to Peter. And that ball is nicely hit cross court outside Maxwell's block, and it finds the playing surface for a kill. Dan Nugent now back to serve, spins the ball on his finger. I can do that too, Gianluca, he says. Here's a jump serve from Ratter. Nugent, passed by Grasso. Grasso with a quick set, and he touches the net on his follow through. Give the point to the Tyrants. Slightly overzealous by Grasso there, looks at the referee, it was pretty obvious. 11 serving 14 now, Tyrants down by 3. Jump serve from Nugent. Good heat, gets a little help from the net. Aguilar is unstoppable. The kid can fly, ladies and gentlemen. We saw that. If you watch MPSF volleyball, you saw that quite a bit in the pyramid for Long Beach State a few years back. And Antoine has continued to progress as a middle blocker and an authoritative attacker during his time playing overseas professionally in Europe. Now resides in Vegas. And here's his jump float serve, deep to Nugent. Out of system set coming from Burrell. Nice attack over there by Cap, dug by Mather. Here's Mather in transition. That ball goes off the block and out of bounds, and Mather scores the point in transition from the back row. So we have 16-11, I believe, in favor of the Las Vegas Ramblers, and the Tennessee Tyrants have chosen to call another timeout to hopefully come up with a little bit of a game plan that they can employ here before this match gets called in favor of the Ramblers. So you see Mitch talking to Peter a little bit, Coach Justin Beaumont talking in the middle there. We've got Olivia on the sideline trying to get a couple insights on what they're discussing and how they hope to be making some adjustments as this match continues. It's game number 3 of our second quarterfinal. Tyrants have had a very nice tournament thus far. They've been very competitive throughout. And the Ramblers may have had the advantage here with a little bit of an extra rest today, as this is their first match. They do look much fresher compared to the Tyrants, who did play earlier today. And it appears that they may be suffering from a little bit of fatigue.
Hey, float serve, coming to 1, Dan. Float serve, coming to 1.
And as the teams get back out on the court and get prepared to start action up once again, we have Antoine Aguilar back to serve for the Ramblers. He's going to jump float serve, and unfortunately that ball finds the net, and Coach Beaumont gets credit from his team as a coach's point, icing the Ramblers server. Thomas Burrell back to serve now, 12 serving 16. Tyrants looking to manufacture a few points and get within 4 points here. Passed up by Ratter. Maxwell Jitsu, he goes quick set in the middle. That's controlled. Burrell on the floor with a set. That ball stayed within the playing surface. Grasso, he scores the point for a hit in transition. Appears as if the Tyrants had possibly stopped playing, looking for that ball to have been called out of bounds as it traveled possibly outside the antenna. No call came from the team in blue, which results in a free swing for Grasso and a point to the Ramblers. And now Maxwell back to serve for the Ramblers, 17 serving 12. Out of system pass, here's Peter on the right, nice two-man form block, and that's a point for the Ramblers. as the Ramblers continue to dominate the blocking category in this third set of this match. They have been the much stronger blocking team, much more physical offensive team, and a much more stronger serving team as well. Nugent, that ball out of system. High ball outside to Nugent, and we're gonna have a net violation on Grasso. Slightly overzealous once again. Now, if this match was closer, that error would be unacceptable. But since there's a 4 or 5 point lead here, we've got a nice cushion. I think everyone can kind of just put their heads down, go back to their spots, and move on to the next play. Here's Peter with a nice jump serve down the line, passed up by Ratter. Here's Mather from the left. He goes with a tip down to Peter, dug up. And Nugent out of the back row in transition. He finds the court as that ball ricochets off the arms of Ratter. So there's a real point for the Tyrants after Gianluca Grasso's error in the net. And we have a score of 14 serving 18. Peter back to jump serve once again. Spins it over to Grasso, pass it. Here's Grasso from the right. Oh, wow. Was there a blocker up in front of him? I think there were two actually, but they did not seal the seam, and Grasso takes full advantage of that with a cross-court smash for a point. Take out a little frustration on those two previous plays. Now 19 serving 14, Gianluca Grasso, former USC Trojan, back to serve, passes over to Nugent, up to the net. Here's Peter from the back row, no blocker up, and he careens the ball off the net and bounces off Grasso's arms for a point. Tyrants now down by 4, 15 serving 19 as Ian Cap goes back to serve. Now we know Cap has the ability to go on a serving run. He did have 9 aces, an NVA record, yesterday in their morning match, but he has been yet to produce the same sort of results since then. Nice jump serve, gets a little help from the net. Ratter goes with the left-handed tip, throw down the line, dug up, Nugent on the left now. He gets a point cross-court under the hands of Mark Lane and in front of Ryan Schickling. So another real point for the Tyrants. Pitter-patter of the little feet coming up behind the Tyrants. Team Scrapper, as we've been calling them throughout the weekend. And now Ian Cap will try his hand at another serve, his second serve in a row here. Oh, that is out of the playing area for an ace to Ian Cap. So he starts to get warmed up. Ramblers coach stands up, looks around, thinks about a timeout, and he will take a timeout. So Ian Cap with 2 straight points. The coaching staff from the Ramblers consult. They decide to take a timeout and see if they can kind of weather the storm and try to ice Ian Cap's service run currently. His 2 straight serves, the second one ending up in a clean ace off of Kendall Ratter, who has been a relatively steady passer throughout this match so far. So let's look over at the Ramblers as they communicate on who needs to take what seam, how to weather this storm, also known as Ian Cap's jump serve, and his confidence will continue to increase as he serves more and more balls in a row right now in this service run. So teams come back out on the court. You can see the Tyrants have a little bit of more sense of urgency, a little fire, a little momentum, and a little emotion. Ian Cap getting ready to serve again, down by 2, 17 serving 19 as we approach the business end of this third set of quarterfinal number 2. Ian Cap set to toss his jump serve. That finds the net. The timeout works. That's a wry smile from Nick England over there. Give the point to the coaching staff, and we'll have a substitution here for the Ramblers as Mark Lane comes out as he goes into the back row. And number 12 will come in. That's Quinn Peterson, the 6'6" opposite from Juniata College, currently residing in Vegas, to be a serving substitution. And his jump serve goes out long. So that substitution didn't work out as planned, unfortunately. Free point to the Tyrants as Peterson comes back and smiles about something, not too sure what exactly. And we're going to see a substitution on the Tyrant side now as well. Here comes Buffum in for Race Munger. Substitution system here has been a new adaptation for everybody to sort of figure out and navigate. But now here's Matt Buffum back to jump float serve. And he goes across the court, passed up by Grasso. Maxwell goes overhead to Mather. Mather blocked back by Nugent. And now we have the Tyrants have pulled within 1 of the Ramblers, 19 serving 20. Ramblers need the side out here. Matt Buffum has been consistent with his jump float serve, so expect this to go across the net. Passed up by Grasso. Maxwell goes quick. Aguilar, that's dug by Peter. Free ball coming from Kenny. Sets it over short. Mather, right side transition swing, and that catches Peter up high off the bicep, and that goes out of bounds. So, clutch point scored by Ryan Mather. Ramblers opposite hitter in transition. Now 21-19 with Ryan Mather going back to serve. And Mather's jump serve coming. That ball gets hit out long out the end zone. And we have 20 serving 21. The Tyrants now preparing to serve. We just need a ball to be thrown over to Ryan Kenny. 20 serving 21. Nice competitive third set match here, third set game. Jump float serve taken by Ratter. Aguilar this time finds the floor for a kill. Maxwell continuing to repeat his middle hitters after they either make a hitting error or get dug, and the second time is the charm as they get the kill, and a point now 22-20. Here's Kendall Ratter. Gets his ball tossed over to him. He's ready to serve now. Looking to probably serve Cap or Nugent. Keep the ball away from Alu, which they've done a good job at not allowing him to be a factor in this game. Nugent passes, left side attack by Peter, blocked by Aguilar. Kenny goes overhead to Nugent. This time he swings and goes out of bounds, and we have a net violation on number 8. That's Gianluca Grasso. Trying a little too hard to possibly block that ball, although it's not totally necessary. Peter hit that ball out of bounds, but Grasso's net violation gives the point to the Tyrants. And they keep some momentum going. It's now 21 serving 22. Dan Nugent back to serve. That ball doesn't make it over the net. So, lucky break there for the Ramblers. Bit more breathing room. Would have liked to see Nugent maybe dial it down a little bit and just put that ball in play and make the Ramblers earn their side out point instead of just handing it to them. Aguilar now back to serve for the Ramblers, serving at 23-21. There's his jump float, comes across the court, passed up by Alu. Kenny chooses to go quick. Thomas Burrell thunders that quick attack down for a nice point for the Tyrants as the middles continue to trade blows back and forth in this match. Great pass started there by Alu. And here's Thomas Burrell back to serve for the Tyrants, down by 1. Passed up by Grasso with the hard cross-court swing. Big point scored there by Grasso and the Ramblers. Have yet to see Grasso hit line yet at this point. It is now match point for the Ramblers. Expect to see Grasso or Mather here get a chance to swing for the match. And Coach Justin Beaumont, I don't know what's happening. So Beaumont calling a timeout. There's a little technical difficulty on the electronic whistle system that's being employed here for NVA's tournament. And we have a timeout called by the Tyrants, down by 2, trying to ice Tanner Maxwell, the next server for the Ramblers, as they have match point in this quarterfinal number 2 of the NVA Showcase tournament on this Saturday evening. Winner of this game moves on to the semifinals tomorrow at 1 p.m. Gets to play the home team, Utah Stingers, as they are home resting and watching and scouting their competition and mentally preparing for tomorrow's semifinal match here at the Utah Athletic Center. The teams come back out to the court. Once again, match point for the Las Vegas Ramblers, looking for a 3-game sweep as Tanner Maxwell goes back to prepare his service attempt.
Thank you.
Well, match point number 1 for the Las Vegas Ramblers. Maxwell's jump serve comes in, passed up by Alu. Kenny goes quick to Buffum for a nice fast point. First option quick, well played by Buffum, comes in, makes an immediate impact offensively, and tells his guy, keep setting me, I want more. It's now 23-24 Tyrants. Peter Namioko back to serve. He will jump serve for the Tyrants, match point number 2. Pass by Schickling, out of system. Maxwell goes high ball left to Mather. 3-man block off the hands, and that finds the floor for point number 25 as the Las Vegas Ramblers finish off the Tennessee Tyrants 25-17, 25-17, and a third set of 25-23 as the Las Vegas Ramblers punch their ticket to the Final Four and will now face off against the Utah Stingers tomorrow at 1 p.m. Let's give some credit where credit is due to the Tennessee Tyrants. They had a wonderful weekend. One of the more undersized teams. They played with a ton of heart, a ton of scrap, great momentum at times. However, I think maybe the fatigue finally caught up to them this evening as they never truly got going and their engines kind of sputtered and the spark plugs might be a little bit old and the oil might need ready for a changing. But nonetheless, nice showing by the Tennessee Tyrants. Good team effort, and they have nothing to be ashamed of by their showing throughout this tournament. Let's talk about the Las Vegas Ramblers. The victors, a nice 3-set win, kept it quick, efficient, no reason to go extra innings or 5 sets or even 4 sets or even do games overtime through those sets. So Las Vegas Ramblers, key players for them, Ryan Mather, big arm, offensive opposite hitter for them. Expect big things from him tomorrow as they play the Utah Stingers. Ryan Mather probably hit a very high efficiency and was very effective from the inline. Also saw Gianluca Grasso, their #1 outside hitter. Very explosive, very rangy. He's got lots of athleticism, lots of power, and lots of range in his game. He's a great passer. And here we're going to go over cross court to Olivia with our player of the game.
Thanks, Matt. Kendall, 13 kills, no hitting errors for you. How are you able to be so consistent?
I'm really just thinking of the team. You know, I'm trying not to end points on my own accord because I want to see my teammates really play it out. Yeah. And as long as I'm keeping the ball in and not making errors, that's more chances for us to score, and it's working out.
Yeah, no errors. Your coach has really stressed this whole week, and especially today, if you stick to your game plan, you're going to get a win. What were you able to do that the Tyrants just couldn't handle today?
I think one of our biggest assets was our block. We really want to just block low, not give them anything to work with, and kind of take away all their kill shots. And I think that really frustrated them, and it worked in our favor.
You had command of all 3 sets. What do you attribute that to?
I think I attribute that to our game plan. We watched film ahead of time, and we kind of knew what we were getting into. We knew which guys to key in on, especially on #4's jump serve. We knew we were playing defense on that, and if we could get through that rotation, that was kind of all their gas.
Yeah, you completely neutralized their aces, which has been their identity this whole weekend. How are you able to do that?
Yeah, we talked about that a ton too. We know it's a really heavy serving team, and a lot of their aces come from when other teams are missing their serves, and so we made a point to make a ton of our serves, so that way they can't really greenlight all their guys to hit as hard as they can.
Now this match sets you up for a big one against the Stingers tomorrow. What's the takeaway from tonight that's going to help you moving forward?
I think we just play our game. We're really confident, and I think if we put our best foot forward, we have a chance to take them down.
You're all on the same page. Your coach will like that answer. Congratulations.
Awesome. Thank you.
Matt?
Thanks, Olivia. Nice, definitely a nice performance there by Ratter, and I really appreciate what he said about preparing for this match, watching video, and they're going to have to go back to the hotel tonight and do the same thing with the Utah Stingers, possibly also tomorrow morning. So that wraps up day number 3 of the Salt Lake City NBA Showcase. We want to give one more final big shout out. Thank you to our volleyball supplier, the one and only Mikasa. Thank you so much for the official ball of the NVA, National Volleyball Association. Now, if you're watching now, you should be watching tomorrow. Sunday is where the championship trophies get handed out. We've got 2 semifinals starting, the first one at 10 a.m. That'll be against the OC Stunners versus Team Freedom, followed up by semifinal number 2 at 1 p.m. local time, Utah Stingers against the Las Vegas Ramblers. Winners of those matches move on to tomorrow night's championship match, while the losers will play for 3rd place bragging rights tomorrow afternoon. So, once again, thank you for tuning in from Salt Lake City. My name is Matt Prosser. We'll see you all tomorrow. Have a great night and enjoy.